Okay guys, do not do this. This is just a demonstration of how powerful JavaScript is, okay? And in this example, I'm going to show you how I'm using JavaScript to basically get a pro subscription when I only have a premium subscription, all right? Now do not do this. This is just an example. I definitely do not do any of this. But let's say I was gonna do something that broke terms of service. The main problem I was running into is I paid 75 bucks and I didn't know that you cannot export to CSV. So what is this product? This product is Store Leads, and Store Leads lets you look at e-commerce store owners and you can cold email them, contact them, try to sell stuff to them. So I have a filter set up here where it's a store created in the last year or so and they're on WooCommerce and Shopify. Product sold is from 1 to 5. This simply means their number of SKUs, so up to 5 products, and in American only region. Now let's take a look here. We can take a look at all these contacts, right? But we can't export it. When I press this export button, they're like, yeah, you can't do it. You paid 75 bucks, but you can blue ball yourself by looking at your leads, but never being able to contact them. But the good thing about this app, and if you really wanted to do this in the free trial, you can kind of set up different filters and you can kind of see that there's an email address filter here. And this is where the JavaScript comes. So in Chrome and in any browser, in case you didn't know, you can do something called right click and inspect. And here you can look at all the wonderful elements of how the page is done. And we're going to go to console here. The console here will let you execute any sort of code of your choosing. We have some code like this, and definitely this is something that you do not want to do here. This script will scrape all these email addresses and then put it in my keyboard. So let's see what that looks like. All right, if I press enter here, I click on over here in this window, it'll copy all these. Now the trick here is that in this JavaScript, if I don't click on this window, it doesn't have permission to read the HTML here, and therefore it is not going to be able to get these email addresses. So let's try again, but I don't click. All right, boom, not allowed, right? But if I click here, I'll get all the email addresses and I can paste them. The thing with this is you can open up an Excel spreadsheet. What you can do with your setup here is you can go up arrow to this JavaScript function, enter, click here, wait for it, and then paste here. All right, pretty good-ish, but now you have to kind of do a lot of this action, right? So maybe we can simplify it some more with this refined script. And you definitely shouldn't do this, but just for educational purposes, I'll kind of leave this here so you can kind of take a look. But if you were really malicious, you could take a picture of this and then have your iPhone just copy paste the text, but you definitely shouldn't do that because you don't want to upgrade your basic $75 premium non-exportable membership into a $250 one. So definitely don't take a screenshot of this. But what this does is it'll copy the emails as usual, but then it'll also click this next button. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, press enter, select this thing, it copies it and then goes to the next page. So now our process is a little bit more refined because now I can go here, paste, right? And then down arrow, and then I could do it again, go here, and then it'll copy it. This is pretty good, and you can get pretty far with this, and you can even go fast enough for them to give you a 429 or a rate limited issue. Okay, now the problem is that we're pretty efficient now, but we haven't 100% automated this. So we can marry this JavaScript with this macro recorder, which I found, which is free for OS X. For Windows, it's a little bit easier to find free stuff, but for OS X, a lot of it's paid, but this is a free one I found. And so what you do here is you can hit record, and when you hit record, you can record your action. So for example, okay, let's try this again. We go here, up arrow, enter, we click this, it'll copy it. We go to the Excel, we go to the last cell, down arrow, paste, and we're good. So let's look at this and edit this. We have this left click, and I'm just trying to see where I paste it. V command, and then we'll add a weight. Put it down here, and then 2.5 seconds is the most optimal to prevent throttling. And let's test this out one more time. And we can see that it pasted a new set of emails. So now the fun part here is that you can do it 10 times, right? And you can press play. And so in short, you can combine JavaScript and macro recorders to be able to really do anything that you want. And instead of having these sort of like AI operators, quote unquote, that take control of your computer and can easily delete all your database and just like hallucinate something that is irreversible, you can take 5 more minutes to set something like this up. And you can kind of automate any really mundane task, provided that you don't actually need the screen time. You can imagine me running something like this overnight and then being really able to wake up with a bunch of like 100,000 emails.